Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. I am Bobby C, and I'm so glad you made it here today. Just want to say that the kids are now running in what we like to call Winter Part 2. And the one thing that I can say that's been very cooperative is the weather. It really has. The kids have been very fortunate to be able to get out and play. Really, if you look at the temperatures starting today, looks like we're in the 60s now for the next couple of weeks, which works out really well for all of the local sports teams. The only sports team that doesn't really have to worry about it here in part 2 of the winter is, of course, volleyball, because volleyball is played inside. But it's a lot different for the folks on the soccer field and the football field. But I will tell you that we want to run down some scores and some information for you. And we also want to let you know how the kids have achieved so far in the early part of the season. We also want to say thank you to Lisa Alber of Alber Hearing Services, located at 33 Riddell Street in Greenfield. She's online at alberhearing.com, our local audiologist now for almost 30 years. Well, the Mohawk Trail Regional boys, they ended up scoring 3 goals in the first half and then 2 more in the final 40 minutes and ended up with a nice win, 5-0 over Athol. Now, that was last Monday. I could tell you that Keeman Ramirez ended up scoring the first 2 for Mohawk. And also, another few minutes later, Oscar Casson ended up picking up on a goal as well. And Tyler Dubriel ended up finding the net. All of a sudden, they were up 3-0. And they went on. They ended up winning the game. 7 saves in the game by Ruben Bassett, and all of a sudden Mohawk starts off their campaign with a 5-0 victory over Athol. Well, the Frontier boys proved that they were a tough team to contend with, and they ended up beating Pioneer last week. It was a final on Monday of 7-0. That's right, the Redhawks put 3 goals on the board in the first half, 4 in the second half to pick up that victory in Northfield. Also, looks like Brady Birch, also Carm Bright, Dylan Martin, all lit up the scoreboard in the first half. And then Devin Niles picked up an assist as well. And we want to let you know that in the second half, this is what happened. Birch ended up scoring again. He ended up getting an assist from Gates Tuttle, followed by a successful penalty kick from Aiden Valderrama. Also, Martin and Patrick, that's Patrick Boyden, they ended up scoring as well. All of a sudden, 7-0 was the victory for Frontier. Well, another big win for Smith Academy as they knocked off the Franklin County Tech boys. Very easy victory for them last Monday. Final score was 8-0. Got a lot to talk about here, so we got to hang with me my paperwork here. Also, we want to let you know that in girls, there is a girl here in Western Mass that is an incredible athlete. And she proved it during the basketball season, and now she's continued that right into the soccer season, and that is Mikaelin Melu. She is out of Marhar Regional. Well, she ended up having a big day, and she ended up scoring big in a big win over Greenfield last week. The senior scored 5 goals. 5 goals, folks, in one game. Final score was 8-0. Melu ended up doing it, and her counterpart, the other great athlete from the school, Delaney Parker, she ended up with 2 goals as they picked up that easy win. So a tough one for Greenfield girls. One thing I can tell you, though, is Michaela Valente. She ended up with 13 saves for Greenfield in the loss. Smith Academy, they ended up having an easy victory over the Franklin County Tech in girls. So the one thing that we could tell you is that in girls action last Monday, that Smith Academy also shut out the Tech school like the boys did. Well, we want to let you know that the Frontier girls soccer team ended up having a nice victory over the Pioneer girls. Final score last week was 3-1. 3 different Red Hawk players ended up getting in the net. And I could tell you that Cambry Hamilton tallied 1 of those goals. as well as Hannah Mackin. She ended up getting in there, as well as Michaela Santos. So those three ended up scoring and ended up helping them to a 3-1 victory over Pioneer. I can tell you that Candace Robinson came in and made 4 saves in the second half, and Charlotte Collar ended up with 10 saves for the Panthers. It was a nice win for the Red Hawk ladies as they picked up the win 3-1 last week over the Pioneer girls. Boys soccer, we can tell you that Greenfield boys had a big game against Marhar. What a game it was. Game tied 2-2 with under a minute to play. This is more like an excitement that we're going to build up in this one. And yes, the Green Wave Jr., Theo Pop, he ends up taking the matters into his own hands. And the junior rifled the shot. And it was off of an assist from Dante Reggiano. And guess what, folks? 3-2. Greenfield picks up the win less than a minute. What a big victory for the Wave. Congratulations to good old Theo Pop. His good old brother Teddy Pop is also a pretty talented guy as well. That's a very popular family, the Papaloso family. But I like to call them the Pops. It's just a nickname that I've given those kids since they've been here. Also, looks like Mohawk Trail ended up winning a game against Athol, which we had a chance to talk a little bit about. So congratulations to them. Can tell you that we slide now into Monday and now volleyball, where Renee Reed ended up dishing out 5 assists and added 3 kills, 5 aces, 5 digs to lead the Franklin County Tech girls volleyball team to a 3-1 win over the Pioneer girls. Now, the Eagles came out with a 25-20 win in game 1. Also, game 2, it was 25-19. And all of a sudden, the Tech responded, and they ended up winning 25-17 before closing out the match 25-12. So, yes, they did it. Congratulations to the Franklin County Tech girls. They win 3-1 in their match over the Panthers of Pioneer. Want to let you know that we have some other girls who did pretty well, too. Faye Smith, she had an ace, 4 kills, also 2 blocks in the win for the Eagles. Also, Lillian Poirier added 5 aces, 4 assists, and a dig. We also want to let you know that Lily Phi ended up leading the Panthers with 4 aces and 4 kills. Also, it looks like Kaylin Lauder ended up with 5 assists. Alana Rediker ended up with 4 aces. Avery Johnson ended up with 5 kills in the loss. Also, looks like Athol took on Mohawk, and it was a really good match between these two schools where Athol picked up the victory 3-2. Looks like Athol came away with a 25-14 win in set 1. Then we got into the second set where it was 25-22. And then the third set ended up being from Mohawk picking up 25-11 victory. And then in the fourth set, it was 25-9, which ended up being by Mohawk to be able to give them the 25-9 win to get them into a forced 5th set. And that's where the Bears took over. That's the new name, by the way, of Athol, is now the Athol Bears. So the Bears took the 5th set, pulled away with the 15-10 victory. So congratulations to them, and a really good match in girls volleyball. Like I said, I'm having a major problem with my paperwork today, and I'm sorry. It's crazy. Also, we want to let you know that we have some individual stats from our local Mohawk girls. Octavia Crawford ended up with 4 kills, 8 assists, 5 aces in the loss for the Warriors. Also, Alex Lilly ended up with 2 kills, 4 digs, and 3 aces. Ellie Patnode ended up with 15 aces. Palmer King recorded 9 aces, 6 kills, and also Sophie Guy ended up with 4 kills. Great job, ladies. All right, Colin Brown and Dennis Simmons. Well, we know them. They're the runners, right? Well, guess what? They won 3 individual events apiece, as the Mohawk boys, their indoor track and field team, ended up winning their season opener against Hampshire Regional. That was on Wednesday, and I can tell you that the final score was 47-39. Indoor track is being contested outside right now, and that's where they're doing everything as part of the Fall 2 season. That's worked out really well for them because the weather has been good enough for them to run. Simmons took first place in the 2-mile run. By the way, it was with a time of 11 minutes and 10 seconds. Also, 1 mile at 5 minutes and 28 seconds. Also, the 1,000 meters at 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Brown was victorious in the long jump, 18 feet even. Also, the 55-meter dash at 7 seconds and the 300-meter at 38.6 seconds. Now, the 4x200, their meter relay. Well, that was the team of Woldridge, Brown, Michael Harrison, and Quinton Romer, as they ended up with first place for Mohawk. So congratulations to the boys winning. How about the girls? Well, the girls did good too. They ended up picking the win up over Hampshire girls. Final score was 46-43. Now, Serena Bardwell, well, she captured wins in both the 300 meters at 47.8 seconds, the 55 meter, 7.8 seconds, helping the Warriors pick up the victory. Also, Courtney Allen won the long jump with a leap of 13 feet, 1 inches. Girls volleyball on Wednesday was senior night over in Powertown for the Franklin County Tech girls, and they picked up a victory over the Pioneer girls. Final score was 3-0. The Eagles scored a 25-23 win in the opening set before closing with identical 25-14 victories for the next 2 sets to pick up the 3-0 victory. By the way, the Eagles named 5 seniors and were able to honor them, and that was Mackenzie Martell, Maggie Charlton, Lily Neves, also Paige Bararingo, and Jolene Dunbar. Yep. They got names for these kids in all these other sports, except for all the sports that I normally announce. So I don't have that insight of how to be able to say half these kids' names, and it makes me feel bad. Martell led the offense with 7 kills, also tossed in 5 digs and 4 aces. Renee Reed, she amassed 10 assists, 4 aces, and 2 digs. Also, Neves ended up with 2 kills, 2 digs, and Maria LaBelle ended up with 3 aces. A nice job right there by the girls of the Franklin County Tech School picking up that victory. Pioneer also had some help from Emily Tibbetts. She had a big match for the visitors. She ended up with 3 aces, 5 kills, and 9 assists, as well as Alana Rediker with 7 kills, 2 aces, and 2 blocks. And Kayla Gothier, she ended up with 3 assists and 10 digs, all making plays for the Panthers. Well, there was another volleyball game that happened back on Wednesday night. It was the Mohawk girls taking on the Athol girls. What a game it was, and what a match. And the final was 3-2. And Octava Crawford, she pulled down 10 kills, while teammate Ellie Patnode, she also aided in the offensive effort with 9 kills to power Mohawk to that victory, 3-2. Another good match for them. Here's how the scores went. It was 25-22. Mohawk wins. Then Athol won the second set, 25-16. Then Mohawk ended up winning the third set, 25-13. Then they lost the fourth, 25-18. And then they won the fifth set, 15-9. Also, Alex Lilly went for 7 digs, 3 aces, and 3 assists for the win. Also, Palmer King was busy. She did very well, 17 aces. That is huge. Also, 6 kills, 8 assists, and 3 digs. And Sophie Guy, well, she helped out as well with 3 kills and 2 aces. Good job, ladies. Well, it was all about boys soccer, and there was a boys soccer matchup on Thursday, and that boys soccer matchup was between the Franklin County Tech and the Athol boys. And the Bears, who took that 2-1 lead going into halftime, wasn't enough. as the Eagles responded with a pair of second-half goals to come up with the 3-2 victory. Yep, Tony Broloni, he ended up tying the game 2-2 at the 57th minute of the second half for the Franklin County Tech before Alex Davidson broke the tie with the game winner in the 76th minute for them to pick up the win. Congratulations to the Franklin County Tech boys. Also, another game that was played back on Thursday was Mohawk and Hopkins, and they ended up with a 1-1 tie. Talk about a really great contest between two really good teams. The Golden Hawks controlled possession for nearly the entire game, but the Warriors made the most of their limited opportunities as Tyler Dubriel ended up scoring a very important second half goal to give them the 1-1 tie. That was on the road on Thursday last week. By the way, in that game, I want to let you know that Ruben Bassett, he ended up with 10 saves for the Warriors. So that was a really solid day in the net for Ruben as well. Well, a pair of first half goals proved to be the difference on Thursday in girls soccer as Athol and the Franklin County Tech girls were at it. Final score, though, was Athol picking up the victory on the road 3-0. I can tell you that Emily Merritt was in the net for the Eagles. She made 17 saves. So a big day in the net for her, but still a tough one for them to be able to put the ball in the net as they ended up getting beat 3-0 on Thursday. Well, the Mahar offense found its rhythm back on Friday against Frontier. The Senators ended up doing very well. And this on Friday, what was it? High school football. That's right. The gridiron. We're doing it up in the month of April. How do you like that, folks? Well, that senior quarterback from Mahar is Noah Chabot, and he tossed 3 touchdown passes to an incredible player on their team, Jake Tenney. That's right. Mahar picked up the 28 victory over the good old Red Hawks of Frontier. By the way, I want to let you know that the game started on a way where, in a way that really Mahar wasn't hoping it was going to start. And that was with Frontier scoring as Jake Dodge literally bobbled the initial ball, finally gets control of it, and runs it back. He ran 90 yards for the touchdown, and all of a sudden, bingo, 8-0 Frontier. Well, after that, that was the end of Frontier scoring. Their offense was not able to really do anything on the field, but I can tell you it was the Chabot and Tenney show from there. And what I mean by that is they really connected with each other very well, and 3 touchdowns proved to be the difference. But I want to bring up something else, and this number is pretty impressive on Jake Tenney, and I want to share this with you. This is what you call a very talented player. When you can put up numbers like this. He literally was able to put up these numbers that were just huge for his team. He literally was able to have over 100 yards in rushing and 100 yards in receiving. So Jake Tenney, him and Chabot, they were the 2 big heroes right there for this team. Solid performance by those 2 kids. And I'll tell you, Coach Woodward loves what he saw. And the one thing that we did see on Friday that was really tough is I had a chance to tune in on Bear Country 95.3. They had the game between the Franklin County Tech boys and the Athol boys, as the Greenfield boys had the bye this week. And let me tell you, it was all the Athol Bears. They picked up a 52-0 victory. 52-0 victory that they picked up over the Franklin County Tech at their field. And that was a tough one for them this past Friday night. And, you know, there really isn't a lot much to say about what the Tech was able to do. The only thing I can tell you is that they have a game this week against Smith Vocational, a game that will be played on Saturday night at 7 o'clock at the Tech School. and they are hopefully going to be able to regroup this week in practice and get themselves back on track. When you get beat 52-0, you have to just regroup. You just have to go and say, that was it. We had a bad game. Things just did not go well for us. We have to move forward. And if you dwell on that loss, that is going to kill the rest of your small, short season that you are going to have. So all I can tell the kids is just to regroup. I want to bring up, I'm so sorry, folks. This paperwork is just in my face. See, normally if I'm in my studio at the TV station, I literally have a full table in front of me that I can put all my paperwork on with all the cameras and everything else, and I don't have to worry at all about flipping pages like I'm doing. So I want to apologize to you folks ahead of time for this. So once I can get back into the studio, it's going to be a lot different, but we're just doing the best we can from home under the circumstances. But I got one last thing I want to share with you here before I sort of recap the week. And that is, the headline says it all. History in the making. Frontier's Delaney Fifield catches a touchdown in middle school football. Who is Delaney Fifield? Well, guess what, folks? She is a girl playing high school football. And she got herself a touchdown in middle school. And it's the first touchdown by a girl in history at Frontier Regional. And I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was really cool. With the Red Hawks only having 12 players on their roster, Fifield and her teammates were all getting an opportunity to get some playing experience. And guess what? She did. Frontier came out with a 20-6 win against the Pioneer team up in Northfield. By the way, with 2 more games left of the season, Fifield said that she is hoping to maybe catch a few more touchdowns. Yes, I love that. That is what you want to hear. And by the way, she's hoping that her team will continue to win as well. She expects that her football career will be able to continue into high school as she wants to play at the next level. She says that she wants to keep moving up and that she wants to keep progressing and keep proving herself as a player that can help her team. Well, we already know that she was already able to do that already. That's right. She sure was. You know, an 8th grader on the middle school team being able to play tight end and be able to score, that is pretty cool. Matter of fact, it wasn't until Wednesday's season opener against Pioneer that there was literally no girl that was able to make a touchdown for Frontier in school history. And she was able to do that. And here's how it happened. As quarterback Caden James was rolling to his left, he fired a pass into the end zone, and Fifield came up with the tough catch in traffic, getting the 6 points for her team and becoming the first female in Frontier history to score a touchdown. Yeah. She says, quote, "It's a huge accomplishment for me. I hope I can go far with this sport. It was a little milestone, but now it only gets harder." Well, listen, now the guys all know that you can catch the ball, so look out. They'll be looking for you, Delaney. But congratulations on being able to make that wonderful catch in the end zone. Nice throw from Caden James, and there you go. The duo is on. It's going to be James Fifield, and we'll see if they can be able to hook up at least a couple more times in the 2 more games they have left in their short season. Well, as you can see, we're able to get things started. So as you also know, you noticed that there was bye weeks that happened in football. Well, one good note is that the tech school was supposed to have a bye week this week, but they ended up lining up a game against Smith Vocational. And that is a game that I think is great because that is their Thanksgiving rival. So being able to work it out that they were able to add them in to the mix works out well. And this game will be played 7 o'clock Saturday night at the Franklin County Tech School. Also, we want to let you know that the Greenfield boys, they will have a game against Frontier Friday night. That'll be a 7 o'clock game over at GHS. And then there's also another game that is happening, and that is that traditional rival game between Mahar and Athol. That game will be Friday night. So there are going to be 3 high school football games this week where there's normally only 2 because of our local 5-team bubble. And with that said, it's because Smith Folk is able to get that game in with the Tech School on their bye week, which worked out perfect for the Tech. It gave them an extra game, and it also gives them a chance to be able to play against their normal Thanksgiving Day rival, Smith Folk. That worked out very, very well. Also, if you notice that our teams are working very hard in soccer, both boys and girls, under the new restriction rules that they have, it's a lot harder, but hopefully they're doing well with that. We're praying that the girls and the boys are getting something out of it, at least being able to get out there and play. Also, the indoor track season is being played outdoors now. They have it set up so they can be able to do what they normally do for indoor track, which was always held over at Smith College, is now being able to be held at the schools themselves, where they're doing it outside, and you can do it easily with social distancing. So that has worked out well with the weather we've had. And we also want to let you know that volleyball has worked out very well too. Haven't heard any issues about problems with volleyball. We've been able to get all the games in. Not one school has had to stop their sports program at all here in the part 2, which I think is excellent. That is the most important thing that we want to hear, is the fact that we are sitting in a good spot where the kids are going to be able to play. And as long as they can all stay healthy and not get any kind of COVID symptoms to have to shut down their team, that is going to be a great sign for us going into baseball and softball. With that said, I want to let you know that Bear Country 95.3 has been doing some broadcasts of high school football, 30 years on the air with Jeff Terrell and Sean Hubert. That is a big milestone, folks. 30 years together, every single fall, they have always been available to do high school football. That is a huge milestone for any. I don't care if it's pros. I don't care if it's college. This is huge. Sean and Hubie. And I want to let you know that there will be a time that'll be coming up within the next few weeks where I will be presenting both those gentlemen. We'll have it on Facebook Live, and hopefully we can be able to share that with all of our local access TV stations, especially Greenfield Community Television. Okay. We definitely want to be able to share that as well with an award that I will be presenting both those guys. Well, we'll do it again next Monday, won't we? Monday at 4:00, we'll be here. We will talk local sports, lots of fun, doing it for the kids. It is winter part 2. Thank you to Lisa Alber of Alber Hearing Services. Thank you to my producer, Philippe Simone, back at the studios over on Main Street in Greenfield. And I'm Bobby C. We'll do it again next Monday. It's the Franklin County Varsity Sports Report. Have a great week, everybody, and support your local athletes.